मतलब एक क्वेश्चन सिर्फ कैलकुलेटर ही यूज़ करके करना है तो हर मल्टीप्लिकेशन हर एडिशन के लिए यू वुड एंड अप सॉल्विंग वन क्वेश्चन इन 6 minutes रादर यू वुड हैव सॉल्व्ड इन जस्ट 1.5 minute इफ यू नो द बेसिक मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑन कैलकुलेटर.
Students either are running towards it because they are either exceptionally good or running from it. So LRDI के लिए अगर कोई स्टूडेंट वीक है तो वो क्या कर सकता है उसमें से रिकवर करने के लिए? तो
You have got admission in both IIM Ahmedabad and FMSJ. Which would you choose?
Yeah.
Right. My input was 2 lakh. My output is 8 lakh. So input को plus 6 किया मैंने. तो 8 lakh हो गए. These are two ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
What is another way of looking at it?
Another way of looking
2 है.
at it.
2 की पावर में मैंने 3 रखा.
Okay.
2 cube.
2 cube, yeah.
मतलब 2 into 2 into 2. That is also 8.
Okay.
The third point that I have said is logarithm.
Okay.
मैं बस हिसाब कर रहा था कि जब मैंने जोड़ा, घटाया, गुणाकार किया और उसके बाद जब भागाकार किया तब एक ही जवाब मिला और वो अब शायद वो सही भी है. लेकिन अब मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि वो फिर एक बार जोड़ने, घटाने, गुणाकार करने और भागाकार करने में गलत क्या है?
One line that every cat aspirant needs to tape on their wall. What would it be?
Don't give up.
Any one single advice that you would like to give for people who are afraid of either of these three subjects? अगर मैं आप लोगों को कहूँ कि आपको इस पॉडकास्ट के अंदर क्वांट, LRDI और VARC और चौथा सब्जेक्ट जो है जो कि है इन तीनों को डील करने के लिए मेंटल प्रेप, उन चारों के रिलेटेड आपको सब कुछ बताया जाएगा, इसके रिलेटेड सब डिस्कस किया जाएगा, तो आपने एक सही पॉडकास्ट पर क्लिक किया है. क्योंकि अभी जस्ट मैंने भार्गव सर के साथ, जो कि सबसे बेस्ट मेंटर है कैट प्रिपरेशन के लिए ई कोचिंग के अंदर, उनके साथ हम एक पॉडकास्ट शूट किया है जिसके अंदर हमने इन तीनों सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बात करी है, उनको कैसे इम्प्रूव किया जाए, उनको कैसे इंजीनियर्स और नॉन इंजीनियर्स डील कर सकते हैं, कैसे अपने क्वांट के स्कोर्स इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं और कैसे इन तीनों से डील करने के लिए मेंटली प्रिपेयर हो सकते हैं. अगर आप यही चीज़ें जानना चाहते हैं और अपनी कैट की प्रिपरेशन को सबसे आगे लेके जाना चाहते हैं तो ये वीडियो भी ज़रूर देखिएगा, नीचे कमेंट भी कीजिएगा, लाइक भी कीजिएगा, शेयर भी कीजिएगा और इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी कीजिएगा एंड ज्वाइन करिए ई कोचिंग फॉर योर बेस्ट कैट प्रिपरेशन. थैंक यू एंड वॉच दिस वीडियो टिल द एंड. वेलकम Bhargav sir to another episode of Ekosphere Success Unlocked, and today actually I wanted to talk about the CAT exam, and in CAT exam especially into the LRDI, Quant and VARC and the mental prep required for all three of them. So the first thing, let's jump into the most feared and the most ignored subject of all three, which is, I believe, is VARC. So what's the reason behind it?
Sir, you are saying that VARC is the most ignored subject, but I would say it depends on the student and student. Most of the engineers, they are scared about VARC. Most of the commerce background students, arts background students, they are scared about maths. So people ignore that subject for which they are not scared of.
Okay.
Right? VARC जो भी इग्नोर करते हैं उसका मेन रीज़न ये है कि पढ़ने का शौक नहीं होता है, पढ़ने से बोर लगता है. सिंपल एंड स्वीट, दैट्स द आंसर दैट आई कैन गिव व्हाई पीपल इग्नोर VARC सब्जेक्ट.
ओके, सो बट अगर बच्चे कोई भी स्टूडेंट है, अगर वो VARC इग्नोर कर रहा है, उसका आपने रीज़न तो बताया कि वो उसको पढ़ने का शौक नहीं है. सो हाउ कैन ही नर्चर एंड डेवलप दैट हैबिट ऑफ हिमसेल्फ टू स्टडी एंड रीड and grow himself into reading?
The student who is preparing for VARC section should start actually with reading that genres which he has complete interest in.
Okay.
हो सकता है कोई भी स्टूडेंट को स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, so they have to start sports columns, reading sports columns and understanding the language there. Maybe somebody likes Virat Kohli. विराट कोहली के ऊपर जितना भी आर्टिकल से पढ़ लो, मे बी समबडी लाइक सचिन के ऊपर जितना भी बुक से पढ़ लो, मे बी समबडी लाइक अब्दुल कलाम, so get into the wings of fire book and read it completely. So you should start with the genre you like. That's when slowly you get the interest in reading.
ओके, बट डू यू थिंक कई बार VRC जो है, जैसे कि इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनके लिए VRC थोड़ा टफ है, बिकॉज बट एट द सेम टाइम डू यू थिंक VRC को स्टूडेंट्स थोड़ा ओवर एस्टिमेट कर देते हैं कई बार? इट्स नॉट दैट टफ as I have seen, maybe because I am from humanities background, that's why I have that perspective, or is it actually the truth that people लोगों को आदत नहीं होती है और वो पहली बार उस सब्जेक्ट को देख रहे इसलिए वो उन्हें टफ लगता है? कोई भी नई चीज़ अगर आपको पढ़ाई में देखोगे वो मुश्किल ही लगने वाली है. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर दैट इन माई चाइल्डहुड 2+2 was easy, but 2 when 2 into 2 came, it was very tough for me. I look at it as a very tough thing to do. But do you think the same case is for VRC from the perspective of engineers?
Being an engineer, I would like to say an accurate perspective on this from my side. बेसिकली इंजीनियर की बचपन से आदत ये होता है कि लॉजिक के हिसाब से सही आंसर ये है, गलत आंसर ये है. ठीक है. सो कोई भी आंसर्स के बीच में, कोई भी दो आंसर्स के बीच में उनको कंफ्यूजन नहीं होता है व्हेनेवर इज सॉल्विंग. बट व्हाट हैपेंस विद दिस VRC सेक्शन इज यू लुक एट द ऑप्शंस. मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता हूँ कि ऑप्शन ये ज़रूर गलत है, ऑप्शन बी ज़रूर सही है. हमेशा दो ऑप्शंस के बीच में अटकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स. वो दो ऑप्शंस में ऐसा होता है, ऑप्शन ये ज़्यादा सही है, ऑप्शन बी कम सही है.
ओके.
या तो ऑप्शन ये ज़्यादा गलत है, ऑप्शन भी कम गलत है. सो जब इस कंपैरिजन में फंस जाते हैं इंजीनियर को, बड़ा प्रॉब्लम वहाँ आता है क्योंकि देयर ब्रेन इज यूज्ड टू 0 or 1.
0 or 1 and
it's
logics.
not used to choose between 0.2 and 0.5 or 0.2 and 0.3.
So how should a student who is from an engineering background to change this habit of himself or herself to make sure that he does not fall into this trap?
For that, I'll give you an example of a person who is an avid reader. Anybody who is reading every day, let me say, but he is not preparing for CAT, but that person loves reading. So he keeps on reading articles, he keeps on reading newspaper, he keeps on reading books, maybe any other genre, whatever may be the genre. But as long as he is doing that, मैं उनको बुला के CAT के एग्ज़ाम दिलाया तो he will be able to cross 97% and 98% in verbal section.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, why I'm saying this example is, you get the answers in VRC most by instinct rather than by solving. When will your instinct be right? If you have put your instincts into practice for many a times. So when you are reading anything, you will feel waste of time if you don't understand it.
Yeah.
So you will deliberately put an attempt to understand it. So that deliberate attempt for number of times ensures that your comprehension skills increase. That's the single mantra, and that's the reason why that's the reason how you can improve the accuracy in VRC.
Okay. So if we talk about any student who is recently starting his CAT preparation, so what should be his initial approach to start incorporating VRC practices? As like you mentioned, that he needs to be an avid reader, he should be good at reading, he should have good reading skills, he should have some speed and understanding of what he is reading. So for that, what should be his daily routine for improving his VRC?
Okay. For any student to start VRC preparation, first of all, the student should understand where does he belong to, he or she belong to. Whether the student is very strong in that particular section, or moderate in that particular section, or weak in that particular section.
So for now, let's take weak.
Weak person. I mean, how do you decide that person is weak? How do I know that I'm weak in this particular section?
If he is not scoring, and if he's scoring below average in VRC consistently, then I think
that means you have to give a test.
Yeah.
Right? So first thing is you have to give a mock test or a sectional test of the actual previous year cat paper.
Okay.
एक प्रीवियस कैट ईयर पेपर खोल लो, वन एनी वन फ्रॉम द लास्ट 3 years, वो
Hmm.
वर्बल सेक्शन खोल लो, यू गिव 40 minutes फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट.
Hmm.
राइट. कितना मार्क्स आया देख लो, उस
Hmm.
मार्क्स में उस साल में कितना परसेंटेज आया देख लो.
Hmm.
देन यू कैन जज योर सेल्फ वेयर डू यू स्टैंड.
Okay.
बाय द वे VARC में एक मार्क से यू कैन नॉट डिसाइड दिस इज योर.
Yeah, yeah. It is 2 to 3
Yeah, I
marks.
mean, कम से कम 2 to 3 marks it requires for you to judge about yourself. It's okay even if you're giving one mark, and if your score is less than 10 or less than 15, that means you can say that you are a weak student.
Hmm.
You are able to solve only 4 questions or 3 questions right out of the 24 questions that are there. You can say you are a weak student. That student has to start with the easiest paper to understand from, which can be in Indian Express.
Hmm.
न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने की वजह से जीके भी बढ़ जाता है, आपकी कंजम्पशन ऑफ डेटा भी बढ़ जाता है,
Hmm.
एंड रीडिंग स्किल्स बढ़ जाता है.
Hmm.
एंड नो स्टूडेंट irrespective of whether he is a good student or a weak student or a moderate student with respect to VARC section should not miss editorial section in any paper.
Okay. Why editorial?
Yeah, why editorial? Because cat में जितने भी genres of passages आते हैं, they are not mono genres. They are various genres. They are of various genres.
Hmm.
मतलब one can be from business, one can be from political, one can be from psychology, another can be from philosophy. Right? You must be exposed to different genres of passages, and that only happens in articles column.
Hmm.
In all the rest of the pages, the articles are monotonous. स्पोर्ट्स कॉलम ओपन किया तो सारे स्पोर्ट्स के ऊपर होंगे, मूवी कॉलम ओपन किया तो सारे मूवी के ऊपर. लेकिन एडिटोरियल्स में क्या होगा, इट विल बी डिफरेंट जॉनर्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट ऑथर्स. दे हैव देयर ओपिनियन. You try to comprehend what author is trying to say, you try to understand his tone, you try to pick vocabulary, you know how to articulate something when somebody wants to say something. So ये सारे चीज़ें we can pick only from the editorial. And this one thing has to be rigorously done, regularly done, on daily basis, at least for 1.5 hour, at least I'm telling.
Okay.
जितने भी वर्बल में 99 परसेंटाइल्स को मैंने देखा है, उनका कम से कम 1.5 घंटा हर दिन पढ़ाई में VARC में, वो भी रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर एंड आर्टिकल्स में चला जाता है.
Damn.
लेकिन nobody has ever said to me, sir, I solved 3 RCs a day or 4 RCs a day. But every student who cracked with 99 percentile, they say, sir, I read 1.5 hour a day.
Okay. But what if I'm a student who is from Hindi medium?
Hmm.
He has never read even a single word of English.
Hmm.
So what would you suggest him?
I mean, उनके लिए जर्नी और ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग होगा सर.
Okay.
द रीज़न बीइंग, पहले इनको इन बच्चों को जिनको इंग्लिश का एक्सपोजर ही नहीं है, दे नीड टू फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड इंग्लिश व्हेन somebody is talking to them.
Hmm.
Right? They have to understand what are the words that are existing,
Hmm.
that they can comprehend from. मैं बोलता हूँ 2.5 महीने या आई मीन लगातार, मैं कम से कम एक्सपेक्टिंग द स्टूडेंट हैज एटलीस्ट 1 year with him to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 months every day you watch web series,
Only English web series.
only
Or Hollywood
English,
movies, whatever you want.
Hollywood movies or whatever, right, with subtitles,
Hmm. And read the subtitles.
and read the subtitles. Preferably they should go for American web series,
Hmm.
sorry, UK web series, sorry, because the
correct,
English
they
is
always
of-
make sure
yeah,
a correct pronunciation
yeah.
actually. They try to
Yeah.
make sure that the
You
pronunciation
pick
is
up a lot
always
of
correct.
vocabulary, you pick up grammar, a lot of grammar subconsciously, and you are also glued to it.
True. Now, sir, let's jump on to the second subject that we have. My most feared subject, personally, which is quant. That's why I chose humanities in itself. Because after 10th standard, I realized that I don't want to fail in exams. So, science was out of option. Then I looked at the commerce. And I looked at the commerce and I was like, accounts, there are still numbers. Let's get away from them. So I moved from accounts also. So that's why I chose humanities. So for the quants people, I have one thing that I want to tell you is that quants ऐसी चीज़ है ना, मेरे हिसाब से कि quants भले आपने humanities के हो, commerce के हो, कहीं के भी हो, क्वांट सब्जेक्ट के एक भी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के टाइम एक ईगो को लगता है कि ये मेरे से सॉल्व क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा, बिकॉज क्वांट्स ऐसी चीज़ है जो आपकी लाइफ में कुछ भी हो जाए आने वाला है. यू कैन नॉट रन अवे फ्रॉम इट. आई हैव रियलाइज वेरी लेट. बट या आप मैथमेटिक्स से नहीं भाग सकते लाइफ में. सो इन चीज़ों के लिए अब ह्यूमैनिटीज़ वालों को दिक्कत है. पीपल हु आर फ्रॉम लीगल बैकग्राउंड फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लॉ के बैकग्राउंड के जितने भी अगर आप देखेंगे उनका मैथमेटिक्स आर नॉट गुड. सो हाउ व्हाट कैन दे डू टू इम्प्रूव देयर क्वांट्स?
I mean, I assume that you are asking again for a weaker student perspective,
Yeah.
right? One thing that I would say might surprise many people. Sir, before one starts preparing for quants, there is set of values that they need to remember. I mean, this might be a boring activity and boring exercise that I wanna say, but this is mandatory for any student who wants to get into quants. Which is the thing, the exercise is they should remember all the tables up to 19.
Okay.
I would rather say up to 25.
Okay.
And they should remember squares up to 32.
Okay.
They should remember cubes up to 15.
Hmm.
They should remember the powers of 2, powers of 5, powers of 3 up to 10, power 4s up to 11. I mean, the moment they remember all these values, आधा एफर्ट ऑफ सॉल्विंग द क्वेश्चन कम हो जाता है.
Okay.
बिकॉज पीपल्स पर्सपेक्टिव ऐसा होता है, सर एग्जाम में कैलकुलेटर तो है, मैं करूँगा ना उसमें,
तो उसी में तो टाइम जा रहा
बट
है.
द थिंग इज 80% ऑफ द टाइम गोज इन सॉल्विंग थ्रू कैलकुलेटर.
या
मतलब एक क्वेश्चन सिर्फ कैलकुलेटर ही यूज करके करना है तो हर मल्टीप्लिकेशन हर एडिशन के लिए you would end up solving one question in 6 minutes, rather you would have solved in just 1.5 minutes if you know the basic multiplications on calculators.
Yeah, because you can do things much
Yeah,
more faster mentally rather than pointing your mouse here and there and doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 70% of the CAT questions use the values only from the values that I told.
70%.
Whenever a question is made, these are the only values that will appear in the exam. I mean, you don't believe me. I looked at value 2744 and there was an option 14. I just clicked it and it's right. Why? Because I know 2744 is 14 cube.
Because you know it at the back of the head. You are already memorized and it's
Yeah.
engraved in your memory.
Yeah.
So इसे याद कैसे करें?
Every day you have to spend 15 minutes of your time to write all this without looking at them.
Okay.
And you check how many of these values you are able to write without looking at the without using the calculator. So whatever the values you could not, use the calculator to find out the answer. Do the same activity next day. Again. Do the same activity again. Again for 45 days till the time they are into your nerves.
Okay.
Now your solving will go to different level. I mean, most of the questions you can solve by assuming certain values. If you know these values, you will assume accordingly.
Now I guess हमारे ई कोचिंग में कई सारे ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स आते होंगे who are weak at quant. So what do we do differently that helps them recover from the shock of quant? क्योंकि आई गेस स्टार्टिंग के एक दो मॉक्स में उन्हें देखने मिला कि दे आर नॉट स्कोरिंग गुड इन क्वांट्स. सो व्हाट डू वी डू विद सच स्टूडेंट्स स्पेशली?
It depends on how much time they have for the exam.
So for example, 1 year is there.
1 year is there and they are very weak in quants. First and foremost, I would say they should understand the process of simplification of the fractions, I can say, or the equations, I can say, the basic things that I have done in the 7th 8th standard. Those things to be known, right? Is simplification, how to simplify a equation. Multiplication, addition, division, ये सारे पहले से अच्छा आया तो they can build upon it. It's not that tough. And one more thing is CAT is not about the quantity of topics you study, sir.
Hmm.
CAT is all about how deeply you know certain topic.
Hmm.
I can give you in writing. I will tell you 7 topics out of the 40 topics that are there in quants. Out of the 40, I'll tell you there are 7 topics. You solve 1,000 questions from each of these 7 topics.
Hmm.
Overall 7,000.
Hmm.
I mean, 1,000 is too much. I would say 300 questions from each of these 7 topics. So 7 into 300, 2,100 questions.
Hmm.
Once you solve these many questions, there is no CAT exam that you cannot clear the cutoff of in quants.
Deep insight for the same, because it's just like something that Bruce Lee has once said, that it's not about mastering all the moves, it's about mastering that one move,
1,000
but by
times.
doing it 1,000 times and become a
Exactly.
master of it. So,
Exactly.
and that's the approach, I guess, is needed for quants in itself. So now it's if we talk about a thing that we call as LRDI. So for LRDI, sir, the playground puzzle of
Hmm.
cat, students either are running towards it because they are either exceptionally good or running from it. सो एल आर डी आई के लिए अगर कोई स्टूडेंट वीक है तो वो क्या कर सकता है उसमें से रिकवर करने के लिए, बिकॉज एल आर डी आई तो ऐसी चीज़ है विच इज़ वेरी न्यूट्रल फॉर बोथ इंजीनियर्स और नॉन इंजीनियर्स, ये सबके लिए सेम ही रहेगा, बिकॉज एल आर डी आई ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमें किसी को भी स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ाया गया है, ना ही कॉलेज में पढ़ाया गया है अंडर ग्रेजुएट्स में. सो हाउ व्हाट शुड बी द अप्रोच फॉर बोथ इंजीनियर्स एंड नॉन इंजीनियर्स हु आर ईदर वीक और an average student for same?
Uh, LRDA is completely, I would say, an unpredictable section of whole CAT. The reason being, a student can decide whether he is weak or good in quants easily. He can decide whether he is weak or good in VARC easily. But LRDI, a person can never decide whether he is
Good or bad
good or
in it.
bad. It's very difficult. Rarely there might be 3 or 4 students out of 100 students, but it is difficult for a student to decide whether he or she is good at that particular section. The reason being, uh, to judge your skill in LRDI, you cannot look at the marks of that particular section. The thing is, there are totally 5 sets. You have to make 3
Correct.
decisions.
Hmm.
I will go for these 3 sets. I'll leave the other 2 sets. Even in those 3 sets, which is the first set that I have to pick up? You read that set and understand that set. It takes approximately 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and you put all the data on the paper, whatever you understood from it. Now
Okay.
look at the questions and then approach the set.
Okay.
But in this process of accumulating the data and representing, even if you make one silly mistake,
The whole data gets disrupted.
all questions get wrong.
Yeah, because all
And
the whole
yeah,
data is gone now.
Yeah. Now, where you are supposed to get 5 3s are 15 marks, you will end up getting minus 5 marks.
That's a deep blow. That will be a deep blow to any
Matlab,
person's percentile.
20 marks difference just for one silly mistake or the lack of concentration you have gone through.
Okay.
So, the person who got minus 5 cannot say I am weak in LRDA. And the person who got 20 by not doing that silly mistake cannot say that he is
Good in LRD.
good in LRDA. It's
Okay.
just that
One silly mistake.
One
So
silly
how
mistake.
to stay focused while doing LRDI then?
I mean, I would say here the concentration and focus level of the student comes into the picture, and comprehension skills of the question comes into the picture.
Okay. And how can a student improve their focus at
Ah.
the same time?
The focus can be improved by solving Sudoku every day.
Sudoku.
Yeah.
I
mean, I have
a lot
seen-
of people might not know Sudoku. Sudoku is a very prominent thing
Yeah.
for you and me
Mhm.
and everyone else who are from either from our generation or people who are beyond even older than our generation. But I don't think so. The younger generation has seen the Sudoku, because Sudoku was used to come in the newspaper. I still remember it, and in the small keypad phones. But now it does not anymore. I have not seen the younger ones even using the newspapers, reading
Hmm.
news. First
Hmm.
of all, one thing that I would like to mention for students is that reading in shorts is not reading GK.
Yeah.
Start reading actual newspapers because the feel of paper is different in itself, and second of all, it won't harm your eyes,
Hmm.
and you will also see Sudoku there. So can you please explain what is Sudoku and how it helps?
So Sudoku basically is a representation of numbers
Hmm.
in the form of a grid.
Okay.
That grid basically
Yeah,
would
we'll
be a
put up the
square. It will
image
be a
for
5 by
students.
5 grid where you have 25 squares,
Hmm.
or you may have 9 by 9 grid where you have 9 into 9, 81 squares,
Hmm.
and you have to place the numbers in such a way where your some of the numbers in the row and some of the numbers in the column and row should be same, and it should not
Okay.
repeat. If at all you're putting a number in particular grid, that number should not be there in that particular row and that particular column. So
Okay.
how you arrange all these numbers satisfying the given condition, right? You
Hmm.
have different levels of Sudoku: level 1 Sudoku, level 2 Sudoku, level 3 Sudoku, all that. But if you start from level 1 also, it's okay. You have many applications in Play Store. Just go
Yeah.
and type in Play Store Sudoku, you will get it.
Hmm.
I mean, it will take you from basic to advanced. I mean, I have my student who used to play Kakru,
Okay.
right? It is also kind of Sudoku.
Okay.
Exactly the same thing has come in the CAT 2023 paper.
Okay.
He was so happy, and he cracked it, and he got more than 93% and 92% and currently sitting at IIMI Delhi.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
just because he had that one habit of playing Sudoku, right? So for the initial stage of preparation of LRDI, I would say Sudoku. For the people who don't know what Sudoku is, or if at all you don't like Sudoku, go for chess.
Yeah, chess is also
Chess
good.
is mandatory.
If you are good at chess, I guess it improves your brain power a lot.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like to ask you is that do you have any funny LRDI related stories that one of our students might have gone through?
Yeah.
Can
I
you
mean,
please share one?
it might not be funny, but it is uh, thought provoking. Thought provoking for it should be for many of the students, right? There was one set that has come in CAT 2023 slot one, right? This set is based on a restaurant getting 5 star or 4 star or 3 star or 2 star or 1 star rating,
Hmm.
right? There are approximately 25 to 30 lines explaining the same. There are
Hmm.
5 restaurants. These are the ratings that these restaurants have come. These are the people who have given these ratings. Now कैट में ऐसा होता है, आप एक सेट पूरा खत्म कर लिया तो भी 95% तक जा सकते हो.
Hmm.
सो वन ऑफ माई स्टूडेंट्स who is an IIT graduate from IIT Gandhinagar, he put all his life in that set,
Okay.
right? In case this set doesn't go well,
Then it's
he's out of all the IMs.
yes. It's a do or die
It's a do
situation.
or die situation. 40 minutes का पेपर 36 minutes हो गया. He stuck somewhere and he couldn't move ahead.
Hmm.
Fortunately, all the I mean 3 to 4 questions from that were थीटा बेस्ड, मतलब नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं होता है.
Hmm.
क्वेश्चन ये पूछ रहा है कि व्हाट इज द रेटिंग ऑफ रेस्टोरेंट ए.
Hmm.
आंसर क्या हो सकता है? इट कैन बी 1 2 3 4 5 ही है.
Yeah. Yeah.
रेटिंग में ये 5 ही होगा.
Hmm.
सो ही टुक इन इंटेलिजेंट गैस, सारे थीटा जितने भी है उसमें आंसर 2 2 2 2 रख के छोड़ दिया उन्होंने. मतलब
टू स्टार रेटिंग दे दिए सारे
या
रेस्टोरेंट्स को.
सारे रेस्टोरेंट जितने भी है सबको 2 2 2 2 दे दिया.
ओके.
फॉर्चुनेटली उसमें उनका 3 क्वेश्चन सही है.
वाओ.
मतलब he
What a
didn't solve the
luck.
set but he used the common sense
हाँ.
and he just attempted all of them, just 2 2 2 2 2, whatever may happen now, let me see.
Hmm.
And he's right now sitting in IIM Calcutta.
Wow. He is in one of the black
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah, I mean his LRDA score was less. ठीक है.
But बाकी दो
But
उसने फोड़
बाकी I
दिया.
mean he got 47 marks out of 72 marks in VARC.
फोड़ ही दिया.
Yeah, I mean VARC he was very good at, and Quant, by the way, IIT people, They should be
Oh,
good at.
obviously, there is
So
no problem for
LRDA was
there for
something he
him.
was very scared of. He called me on the day of the exam and he was crying. So this is what I have done. I don't know what will happen. I said, let the result come. We will together cry together.
So we knew that there might be some crying, but thankfully went to
Hmm.
IIM Calcutta. Now, sir, let's jump on the fourth one, which is not there in the syllabus, which is the mental preparation required for all three.
Hmm.
So my first question is that, sir, what if there is going to be moment in every aspirant's life, which is the point where he will be getting back to back low scores in his mock. So how to deal with it?
I would say a statement made by Virat Kohli
Hmm.
for any student who is going through this phase. Once one of his fans has gone to him and asking for a autograph, and he asked Virat Kohli, "How do you deal with failures?"
Hmm.
And Virat Kohli replies, saying, "Success doesn't teach you anything; it's failures that teach you everything."
Hmm.
I think that philosophy has to be applied even when you are giving mocks and getting low scores. Any mock in which you are scoring great, they don't teach you anything much.
Yes,
The mocks that you are getting low scores will
are the
teach you a
most
lot.
productive ones for you
Yeah.
actually.
So you look at it that way, that it's a learning opportunity for you
Hmm.
rather than looking at like I'm not competent enough. Rather understand, to become competent I have to do all this now.
True. I learned the same thing from Cristiano Ronaldo. He is an idol for me. I have always looked up to him. I have read his all of his biographies, and he has told always told one thing, that make sure that every day when you wake up, you have to believe that you are the best, because there is going to be at least one person in the whole world who is going to say that you are the worst,
Hmm.
and make sure it's not you who says it to yourself.
Hmm.
Make sure that it's you only always who says that you are the best in the world, and keep believing in yourself, because I guess what you say to yourself is going to push your body and your mind subconsciously to actually make it a reality. So I guess it's not the manifestation, it's the
Affirmation.
subconscious mind that pushes you to be the best out there. Uh, Now I want to ask you, sir. There are many times that students that go for CAT are freshers or work ex people. Now the work ex people are experienced; they are much more mature.
Hmm.
But the students who have just come out of college, they are still in that college feel and that the
Hmm.
college mindset. They have not yet seen the real world out,
Hmm.
so they are always in the comparison state to their peers a lot of times.
Hmm.
So in that feeling of comparison, they go into the self doubt, because one
Hmm.
of their peers might be doing better than them, and that
Hmm.
is going to be case for sure. So how can a student not to self doubt themselves?
I would say a fresher has to be more confident compared to a work ex professional. The reason being, a fresher who has gone into an IM college or any other B school, right? He has gone there after completing his graduation. That means his reading habit is still with him.
Hmm.
His academics seriousness towards academics is still with him.
Hmm.
But a work ex guy has come out of the college and worked in the real life. He has lost the touch in studying. He has lost the touch in academics, and then again he has to bring back his usual thought
Study
process
routine.
into the, yeah. It would be difficult.
Hmm.
Initial 4 to 5 months, work ex people suffer more than
The
freshers,
freshers. Yeah.
because freshers they are still in the mode of studying, still in the mode of learning,
Hmm.
but that's not the same case with the work experience. I think every fresher has to understand being a fresher also has a pros,
And being
being work ex also has a pros.
hmm,
So use your pros, pick their
towards your
pros.
benefits. Yes. And so the thing is that a lot of times the current generation has a big problem, which is high amount of screen time.
Hmm.
So do you have any suggestion to reduce it? Because the good reading also requires the reduced screen time. Because that binge scrolling thing that everyone is addicted nowadays
Hmm.
needs to be cancelled out if you want to do good in cat or
Hmm.
anywhere in your life.
Hmm.
So how can a student do that to make sure that they get out of the that loop of binge scrolling?
I mean, so your preparation should not just contain online preparation.
Hmm.
So involve offline preparation into it.
Hmm.
Like you don't only need to solve mocks or topic tests from any random portal. You might solve a book.
Okay.
You buy a book and solve questions from that.
Okay.
So keep 50-50% in a day. 50% you may be solving from your laptop or mobile. The other
Hmm.
50% from book.
Okay. That's great, sir. Now we have a small segment that we have, which is the rapid fire round. So I'll ask you some questions, and you have to answer them as fast as you can. And we will try to talk out of it. If we find something very interesting to talk about, then we'll might extend that conversation ahead. Okay, sir. So let's start with the first question. Fastest time a topper solved a question answer section in mocks.
Fastest time 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. What's the usual score of cat? Like best score of cat.
Best score of cat 90 plus.
Okay. In which year did cat go online?
2009.
Okay. Why did actually cat went online in the first place? I have a question in my mind popping since a long time.
Hmm.
Like what made the cat go online actually?
Uh, by giving cat, people become managers. One manager of the exam had thought to make it online to make the management easier to
Easier
correct.
for everyone, yeah.
Uh,
Uh, what one topic that's never skipped in cat by anyone?
Logarithm.
Logarithm. Okay. Uh, so what's logarithm, sir? If you can explain to the people who are not aware of logarithm.
Hmm. I'll ask you only, sir.
I am.
Suppose I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
suppose I'm investing 2 lakhs today.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
And after 1 year,
Hmm.
it has become 8 lakhs. Let me
Okay.
say I have put it in a stock market.
Okay.
What happened to my money? Tell me.
It has grown in itself.
In what way? I mean, has it doubled or tripled, or has it
I
uh,
guess it has
2 lakh
tripled.
has become 8 lakh?
It has tripled.
It has tripled or it has gone 4 times.
Sorry, it has gone 4 times. Yeah,
Four
sorry.
times.
Yeah.
That is one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Or another way of looking at it is I have added 6 lakhs to my 2 lakh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? My input was 2 lakh. My output is 8 lakhs. So input को प्लस 6 किया मैंने
Hmm.
तो 8 लाख हो गए. These are two ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
What is another way of looking at it?
Another way of looking
2
at
है.
it. Hmm.
2 की पावर में मैंने 3 रखा.
Okay. Hmm.
2 क्यूब
2 cube. Yeah.
मतलब 2 into 2 into 2.
Hmm.
That is also 8.
Okay.
The third point that I have said is logarithm.
Okay.
What should you keep in the power of your input so that you will get the output?
Okay. So that's the
Yeah,
logarithm.
before I teach logarithm, I explain this because this helps them understand the stock market better.
Yeah.
Every investment and every time they come up with a final amount,
Yeah.
we need to understand, is it an exponential growth or a linear growth?
Hmm.
If you don't understand the basics of logarithm, you can't understand the analysis of the stock market also.
Yeah. I guess logarithm is something that will help students. It is, I guess, cat put it in there because to understand that whether the student, if the student is good enough to even choose MBA in finance in future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why logarithm is there in the question paper itself. Now, if I force you to say one line that every cat aspirant needs to tape on their wall, what would it be?
Don't give up.
Just one. Not giving
Don't
up
give up.
anyhow.
Don't give up. You're getting 99.5 percentile. don't give up. Go for 99.9. If you're getting only 20 percentile in the mock, don't give up. Go for 60 percentile. The exam is just 2 days away and you are getting only 30 percentile. Don't give up.
Go for it.
Go
Just
for
like
it.
Vatsal did.
Go
Uh,
for it.
Sir, I have one last question for you, which is that I have heard from a lot of our students
Hmm.
that either they want to, obviously, everyone wants to go to IIM ABC,
Hmm.
or is it FMS
Hmm.
Delhi?
Hmm.
I know about IIM ABC, why they are the best.
Hmm.
Because obviously they are IIMs.
Hmm.
But I am not aware much about FMS Delhi, or I guess a lot of people won't. I searched a bit about it, but I wasn't able to research more about it. One thing that I got to know is that FMS Delhi is also known as the Red Building of Dreams. So can you please tell the audience why is it called that?
So I'll ask you if at all you have got admission in both IIM Ahmedabad and FMS Delhi. Which would you choose?
See, by far, what I've heard and talked with people,
Hmm.
I have heard that people have dropped IIM Ahmedabad and went to FMS
Hmm.
Delhi. So that's what I want to know, that what is it
Okay.
there?
Okay. The thing is to complete your MBA for 2 years and get an average package of approximately 35 to 36 lakhs. Hmm?
Hmm.
It takes 20 lakhs of fee in IIM Ahmedabad.
Okay.
Whereas for you to complete 2 years of MBA and get 35 lakhs package, it takes only 2.2 lakhs in FMS.
What?
Yeah. The fee of FMS Delhi is just 2.2 lakhs.
Why is it so?
Uh, this is specifically, I mean, this has been, oh, I mean, this has come into our B schools for the only reason ki if there is any student who is seriously very good in academics but they cannot afford,
Hmm.
but they have
They
skill
have
and talent.
that brains
Yeah,
for them.
and those people should have something they should look upon for, and it is for them.
The FMS Delhi.
Yes.
But I have seen people who could even afford it and still
Hmm.
they are going. And I guess I asked one of them and they told me something that look at the alumni list once.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I went ahead and I saw that FMS Delhi is actually a part of DU.
Hmm.
And I looked at IIM Ahmedabad's
Hmm.
this whole alumni,
Hmm.
Ashneer Grover, Aman
Hmm.
Gupta,
Hmm.
all of them are from IIM Ahmedabad, Chetan Bhagat.
Hmm.
But I looked at DU pass outs,
Hmm.
then I saw Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru,
Hmm.
people who actually, these people did not created companies, these people created countries,
Hmm. Hmm.
a country where these companies are built.
Hmm.
So I guess maybe that's the reason why people want to go to FMS Delhi to be considered as an DU alumni.
That can be one thing. The thing is, if you want an IIM tag strongly,
Hmm.
then you might choose IIMs, IIM
Hmm.
Ahmedabad or Bangalore or Kolkata. But if you're not bothered about the tag, but you're bothered about your return on investment
ROI, yeah.
and your development, right? You would preferably go to FMS. I mean, I would say ki if somebody wants to become HR,
Hmm.
I would say even XLRI Jamshedpur is more better than I am Bangalore and Calcutta.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. So I guess all of them has excelled in itself. Like I'm
Hmm.
myself from law field, so I guess a lot of people might not know this, but IIT Kharagpur has the best intellectual property rights law course
Yeah.
in the whole Asia. And I was like, what, IIT is teaching law? Then I got to know because IIT Kharagpur has the highest amount of patents filed from there. That's why it is the best.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the reason. So any one single advice that you would like to give for people who are afraid of either of these three subjects?
Fear is part and parcel of their preparation.
Okay.
So fear as much as possible and practice more than how much you fear.
Okay. That's a great quote, guys. Make sure that you write it and post it up somewhere in your wallpapers or somewhere like that. And thank you so much, Bhagasav, for giving us the such deep insights into CAT preparation and all the three subjects and the fourth subject, which is not in the syllabus. I have learned from it, and I hope all the others viewers will also learn from it. I have only one small request. Can you please look into the camera and just request all the viewers to subscribe to our Ekoching's YouTube channel, like this video, share this video, and comment their doubts or questions they have for you so that you can answer them in the comment section.
Hi, CAD aspirants. All the best for whatever the dreams you're pursuing, and ensure you subscribe to eCoaching YouTube channel and Instagram channel. And whatever the queries you have, you can post in the comments. eCoaching is always ready to help you. All the best.
Thank you, aspirants, and see you in the next episode.